Our next group provides invaluable services to the most vulnerable members of their community. Representing Tauranga City, here is Age Concern Tauranga.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bill Faulkner. I'm a councillor from Tauranga City, and I'd like to thank TrustPower. And TrustPower, of course, is a major company, and its home city is Tauranga. Tauranga has got the second largest older population per capita in New Zealand, exceeded only by Kapiti district, and it's growing with us baby boomers, so I do declare my interest. They got 365 days of community service with this organisation, and it gives me great pleasure, and I'm very proud to introduce to you Age Concern Tauranga. Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Tyra. I'm the CEO of Age Concern, and I'd like to introduce Andrew Billingsley here, who is our Accredited Visiting Service Coordinator. You're about to see a short video about our wonderful volunteers who help combat the issue of social isolation in our community. These volunteers number about 150 at the moment, and they make approximately 4,500 visits per year.
We have upward of 180 volunteers here at Age Concern Tauranga, but approximately 150 of those would be our volunteer visitors that go out into the community to visit older people in their homes through the accredited visiting service.
It gives my lady something else to talk about. With her husband being there all the time, it's just something different. I mean, we talk about the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, and they make me feel very much part of their family. We go through old family photos and we talk about what she's done in the past and her family.
I've been visiting Ray and Barbara, and I say Ray and Barbara because it started off that I was visiting Ray, who's 80% blind and can't walk. But we have a great time together, and he used to have the whole hour to himself, but now it's shared between two.
Anne is in her 97th year, and it took 18 months for Andrea to get her to want to have a visitor. When I went there first, she was reluctant to open up, and she was talking about it's time she died and things like this, quite a depressed lady. And I sort of wanted to make her feel that I needed her just as much as she needed me. And I explained to her how I'd lost my mum and we'd never undone the apron strings. So she started to accept me like a daughter. Now, and I used to have a cup of tea and a wine biscuit. I've progressed now. I go later in the afternoon and we have a sherry and a bag of chips. And she absolutely loves it.
One time I said, how's your week been? And she said, oh, terrible. And I said, what happened? And she said she tried to get out of bed in the middle of the night and she fell onto the floor and has some method that she alerts her husband, who must be sleeping in another room, and he didn't come. And she was lying on the floor for several hours and she was quite bruised. I don't know whether he didn't hear her or ignored her or what happened. And therefore, I don't know whether it was abuse or not. But therefore, I feel like I still had to report it.
I'm her only visitor, and that's very, very sad. You know, so. But she's very bright. She can get on. She can live on her own, all right. She says, and we go out for walks. She's a great walker. She can outwalk me too. And usually it's about 2 or 3 hours every time I go, you know, because she's worth it.
Walter became very lonely, so I guess my visits have helped in that. When I first met him, he was very shy, which is a bit strange now when I know him a lot better. And he'd stay at home and didn't really want to go out anywhere. Now he really wants to get out, and every week we go out and have a meal. So his whole demeanour has changed, and he's got a bounce in his step now, which is really nice to see. So it's great. It's great for me, and I'm sure it's great for him.
We have a couple of groups meeting here at Age Concern Rooms. We have the card group on a Monday morning, and we have the craft group on a Tuesday morning. We also have bus trips here, running from the rooms once a week.
He said, look, one day I'll be able to go up the street for a walk. That'll never happen. So he really very much appreciates the mail company.
That's great.
And I enjoy going there.
She's becoming a good friend, a very good friend. And I'd love to see her getting up and walking around again.
I am now teaching Anne how to do emails and to Google things that she wants to know about at 97.
It's marvellous, isn't it?
So we've had 4 lessons, and each time we have to go back to the beginning on how to turn it on and how to start it. But I've made a pact that I am going to teach her how to do it, and that's my mission at the moment with Anne.
Thank you, Lorraine. That's marvellous. As you can see from the faces and the testimonies of the volunteer visitors, they really love what they do. They're so passionate and enthusiastic, which is marvellous. My role at Age Concern really is to bring together 2 elements of our society. Those seeking to give back to the community that have served them well, the volunteers, and others who are slowly losing their connection with the community that they have served. I always spend quite a bit of time with my prospective clients and the older people themselves. I find out quite a lot about them, about their stories, because stories are really important. They tell us, who people are, where they've been, and what they care about. I talk to them about where they lived and what jobs they've done, and sometimes I get quite a surprise that they can have had, 40 or 50 jobs in their lives. I talk to them about their passions and loves. I talk to them about their sadnesses and losses. And equally, I spend a bit of time with the volunteers when I train them. I find out what makes them tick, why they're here, and what spins their wheels. I guess when I come to make a match between 2 people, they have nothing to do with it. I decide who I'm going to match with who. You could call me a matchmaker of sorts, I suppose. However, I do point out, especially to the male clients, that this is not a dating service. When I ask them what kind of volunteer visitor they want, they often say 35, blonde and built nicely, which, I kind of have to be a bit careful. Okay, you often get a feel for the possible connection, and it's usually an instinct, and so the instincts usually serve me quite well. Just want to tell a quick story about a match that I made between 2 people. Both had been recently bereaved. Both had the wives had the same name, and I put them together, and they did really well. They helped each other through a very difficult time. Eventually, the volunteer helped the client to write 3 books in the last year of his life, and also learned to play the saxophone, which had been, well, not play it, but hold it up and blow in it. But that was his dream, and he helped him to achieve it, which was really good. So I guess old age comes to all of us eventually, if we're lucky. And I'd like to think that the work we're doing here at Age Concern Tauranga is building a place of vision, dignity and respect that one day we'll all be proud to inherit. Thank you.
The health and well-being of our members, of course, is the paramount consideration of our organisation, and we would like to think that Age Concern is the first port of call for elder needs. We're open 5 days a week, and all the staff there, a number of about 3.5 if you say it's part-time, are available to anybody who requires information on any subject pertaining to the older population. With sustained funding and success of building a greater awareness of the core activities in Tauranga, I believe Age Concern has a growing capacity, or capability I should say, to serve the older population of Tauranga and the surrounds. This figure at the moment, and I'm talking about over 65s, is approximately 30,000 at the moment, and I think we'll find after the last census that's grown. Jane Broughton, our Elder Abuse and Prevention Service Coordinator, who handles the casework of the services that we now run in the Bay, that's been a hidden issue up until now, with Jane and Andrea raising awareness in the Bay by running workshops aimed at community workers, care facilities, nurses, carers, etc. Those issues are now being addressed, but there's still a problem. All our volunteers, from the people you've seen today, our drivers, receptionists and casual workers, all do a fantastic job of helping the older people of Tauranga, and we're honoured and humbled to work in this positive environment. I'd just like to say thank you to TrustPower for the recognition to date, and I'm also enjoying the weekend, and I'm going to enjoy it even more now. Thank you.